So we're going to replace some ATV slash side-by-side wheel bearings. Pretty similar procedure. This happens to be from a Polaris Sportsman. I think the 5, 6, 7, 800 all have a similar setup, as do the Ranger side-by-sides and a lot of them. But anyway, so if you jack your machine up, take the weight off the wheels, give it a little check there, you feel some free play. It's probably going to be your wheel bearings. So this can be done with the hammer and bearing driver, or if you have a press or access to a press, it can be a little smoother and easier to do it this way. First step here, where you have to remove a big snap ring, so probably want to wear some safety glasses. I have this really nice pair here that are great. So you have a large snap ring that's going to come out of here. You've got to take that out. That holds the bearing in, just a set of snap ring pliers, and get that out. Watch out, these things can fly out. So once you get that set up, get it in your press, and then we're going to have our driver here. Back that off just a little bit there. Alright, so I have already heated this somewhat, using a heat gun or a torch, whatever. Get this thing pretty warm. It expands the aluminum and makes it a little easier to drive the bearing out. So we'll go ahead and see if this thing wants to come out of here. Alright, we got some movement there. I like to put my hand down here just a little bit so when the piece comes out it doesn't hit the ground. So I can see the bearing is hitting the support I have here for it, so I'm going to have to let off some pressure and readjust this. And that is the name of the game with presses, is constantly moving slowly and readjusting, because you have a lot of force available to you in a press, so you want to just pay attention to what's going where. So now that's clearing, it's going to come out. As you can see, that's just a little bit easier than banging on it with a hammer, but hey, you may not have a press. You may have to go the other route. So that's out. And that's why I put my hand there, so it doesn't just crash down on the floor. Now, this bearing, it's not as bad as the other side. It's got some notchy, rough feeling to it. The one from the other side, it was more like, sounds like grit, sand, wear. So it's really shot. So what we've done now, we're going to take and turn this part over to press our new bearing in. You want to check in there, clean it out, make sure there's no debris or burrs, something that's going to snag that new bearing, and get that ready to go. And what we'll have to do is readjust our press to allow for the installation. There. This is a little uneven, so I'm going to stick something in there to try to even that up. Now the new bearing, what we've done is this was in the freezer for a while to make it cold while that's warm. Get a little grease on the outside diameter, can't hurt. Now to get started, I like to go ahead and get the bearing in place. And then maybe just gently tap it. You don't want to go crazy here. Just maybe just to kind of get it started, kind of look at it. Get it started somewhat evenly, because what's going to happen is when you start to apply the pressure to it with the press, it gets crooked, it's going to bind up, and then you have to stop there and readjust. And the least amount you have to bang or drive a new bearing, the better, so you avoid damaging it. So I'm going to readjust this more. Okay. So we get that in there, make sure everything looks pretty straight, pretty squared up. And what we could do here is maybe put a little more heat on it, make sure this one still feels pretty warm. Like I said, that really aids in the installation. Now we're going to go ahead, move this just a little bit more. Okay. Put the pressure on, the bearing's moving into place. See where we've had this cold and this hot, it's just about falling in there. So if you were using a hammer on this method, it would have went in pretty good. So this one's just wanting to fall right in there. Some of them are harder than others, so just keep going. If you're driving in with a hammer, you'll hear the tone change. Ting, a little bit different sound when it seats. This one, you'll feel the press, you'll meet resistance. That means it's fully seated. Back your press off. You can look and see that your groove for your snap ring is visible as well. You will install your new snap ring here, and this one will be ready to go back on the machine. Now, if you want a full detailed step-by-step breakdown of the entire procedure, pulling the hub off, torquing the bolts back down, all that good stuff, we have a service manual available for most Polaris models, either at Cyclopedia or repairmanual.com. And if you're a Cyclopedia customer, you get tech support, so we could be having this conversation about doing this on the phone or through our ticketing system. But anyway, that's the basic procedure.